Welcome to the CT Educator podcast. I am your host, Karina Hogan. I am a registered CT technologist with 20 years of experience and knowledge. I help new CT technologists level up their CT training so that you can become a successful technologist. I'm also a mom and committed to sharing my knowledge and expertise to help you build your confidence, know the CT basics so that you can deliver quality patient care. So let's get into it. Hello. Welcome back, technologists. Welcome back to the podcast. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. I am so grateful that I was able to teach this awesome live workshop. Had lots of fun doing it. And if you did not catch the live workshop where I talk about all the IV things when it comes to CT, make sure you guys sign up for the replay for the workshop. It is in the show notes. So make sure you do that. It was really fun, very interactive, and super excited. So I probably will do another live event probably in the next quarter, probably December. We'll see. If not, it'll be at the first part of the year. So super excited. It was so good. Lots of good information. So if you want to get in on the action on that, make sure you sign up so you can access the replay. Also, the doors to my new coaching program, which is a 6-month program, the CT Educator program, is open, and you can go ahead and apply and sign up for the program. Join me where I teach you all the CT things, get you test registry ready in the next 90 days. And in 6 months in my container, I will give you all my expertise and show you how to be the go-to CT tech so you can be successful and enhance your skills. So if you're interested in joining my program, I am taking 10 students for the very first round. So make sure you get in on that action. There is an application. So there's a link in the show notes. You can apply and come join my awesome community of technologists. So super excited about that. And I can't wait to just dive in, and you will get daily Slack coaching. So I will be doing coaching through Slack. I will also drop voice notes each week. There will be a online self portal. So it's on demand. So you can go ahead and get some of my courses, actually all the courses that I do teach on demand there. So it's self-paced. You can go in and access that information and learn on the go. So really packed with all stuff. And then I will do a couple of coaching calls, live coaching calls twice a month. So it would be every other week where we will get together. I can coach you on this call and get you to be the go-to CT tech. So make sure you apply to the program. There will be 10 spots. Get in on all the action, you guys. So in today's episode, I am going to be talking about being new to CT with zero guidance, how to go from surviving to thriving, which are all the things that I teach in my program. So we all know that the reality of being a new CT technologist, there's really, from what I see, little to no direction, training, or like a checklist that we can go by. We all know that when we started X-ray, there is, a curriculum. There are courses. There are classes that we go to. There are competencies that we have to sign off on. Now, not saying that CT programs that do exist out there, that's not the case. Absolutely, that is the case. However, I don't think the curriculum is strong enough when it comes to if you're cross-training, and let's say you don't want to take a program. Let's say your job says, hey, we'll cross-train you and we'll pay you. Okay. So a lot of new techs do go that route, and they are stuck with little to no direction. The training is minimal or inadequate, and there's really not a checklist of what they should be learning as far as how to operate on that CT floor. So the common struggles that I see, and I'm going to give you some in this episode, from what I see as far as how training becomes inadequate, and you do see a lot of what we call quote unquote button pushers. Okay. I know that's going to trigger some of you, but we have to be realistic and we have to be honest of what we see. So some of the common struggles is, there's technology overwhelm. Our technology is constantly changing all the time. It's becoming more advanced. You have AI tools. You have all these things that are just fast and advancing in just all these, 3D and spectral CT and all these things that are coming out. So a lot of times when we do get new technologists, a lot of them are coming from X-ray and they probably have never seen a cross-sectional image. Okay. I know some have, but some haven't, or they're coming from another modality, that maybe, okay, they see cross-sectional anatomy a certain way and CT is something different, right? So our workload is very, very high pace. Like we are constantly, it's a hustle and bustle. There's always a long list of exams and procedures, and they require you to learn things in a short amount of time. So what I've seen is the short amount of time is, 6 weeks of training. I can tell you 6 weeks of training is not enough for somebody who's brand new, not enough to really learn the meat and potatoes as far as what we do as scanning and to know how to inject contrast properly. They need more time. Honestly, they really do. And I see some facilities that say, okay, we'll give you 6 weeks of training and then you should be good. I've seen other facilities that will give them 12 weeks of training or even 16 weeks of training, which is probably a little bit better. But I think to grasp everything that you need to know, it has to be at least 6 months before you're like, okay, I got this. I can do these complex exams. I can do some more advanced stuff. So, but usually between that 12-week mark, that's usually a good sweet spot, I think, as far as knowing all the basics. Okay. So the short amount of time in training can be a hindrance. And also we have technologists that love to gatekeep knowledge. Like I said, I'm going to be very honest in this episode, okay? Because I have seen this myself. They don't like to share information. They don't like to share knowledge. Well, why is that? Well, for the simple fact that they think that this tech is going to be more successful than them. I have heard that statement from a technologist. And I said, well, if they happen to learn quicker or learn something more advanced, don't you think it would be a good opportunity for you to learn from them? The answer that I got, well, I don't need to. I have enough experience. Okay, well, then you are blocking yourself from learning newer things and newer technology or even a newer way of doing things and just keeping that narrow mindset, which we shouldn't have. Okay. I know newer technologists that I work with at my job right now, and they've all taught me something that I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. And I've been a technologist for 20 plus years. And it's always good to learn not only from people who are more seasoned than you, but the people who are new and know some advanced stuff. Like that's a good thing. So let's not gatekeep, you guys. Okay. That doesn't help anybody. That just holds people back. Right. So key steps to success, whether you're mastering the basics, you need to feel confident when you're interacting with patients, making sure you set up and performing your exams to the best of your ability, and making sure that who's training you is doing the right thing. Okay. Another thing is investing in yourself. So with courses, with coaching and mentorship, community. And I know these things exist out there. As far as the coaching and mentoring, that is something that I'm very passionate about. And that's why I have created a coaching program for CT techs. So you can get the mentorship and the coaching because that is a piece that is missing in our modality. We need that piece because we need to continue that mentorship so that we can have good technologists out there. Patients are comfortable with who is taking care of them, right? That's what we need. And then community, so we can trade off, advice, trade off, say, hey, I have this if you're stuck on something. And I've built a community of that in my own container. So this is important to make you the best technologist you can be and to have the resources so that you can make a difference and care for your patients in a really awesome way. Okay. Another thing is support system. So collaborating with other technologists, collaborating with the radiologist, collaborating with other, nurses, ordering physicians, things like that. Those are super important. Okay. When you collaborate with other healthcare professionals, because you build those relationships with them and with other technologists and your radiologists. Another thing, and I highly, highly recommend this, is to collaborate with vendors that supply us, like CT supplies, whether it's in the procedure suite, cardiac, when it comes to contrast, things like that. It's always good to collaborate with vendors because you never know when you're going to need a favor. You never know when they can provide you with some educational stuff. I know one of my very good friends. She is the marketing director. So she sends out all the clinical apps people for Philips. I have been friends with her for years, even though I've kind of lost touch with her a little bit. But she's an amazing lady. She was the one that actually taught me how to do cardiacs. And this was many years ago. Awesome, awesome tech. She was a CT tech for many years, lives in California, and she is just amazing. She had a lot of knowledge. I learned a lot from her. It's always good to build those relationships because you never know when you need something. It's always good to do that because, there's awesome, partnerships that you can get in with them. You can even work for the same companies. You never know. Always, always, always. I always tell people, make friends. Okay. Very important. Make friends. Okay. And then the last piece that I'm going to give you is growth and advancement. Okay. Continuing education can open so many doors, whether it's education, whether it's management, lead tech positions, being clinical apps. It can open up a lot of doors, multimodality positions, traveling positions. It does. So continuing education and making sure that you stay tip top on the current trends and things that are happening in radiology is always a good thing. We have to do continuing education anyway, but if you stay on top of those things and, like I said, collaboration and advancement, you can make a lot of friends and build those networking partnerships and relationships and connections. You never know what kind of door will open for you. Okay. So those are some important tips when you have, zero guidance and you're new to CT. These are some of the things that you can take and just kind of hone in on it so you can be the best tech that you can. And I dive even deeper into some of these concepts in my coaching program. So that is it for this episode for this week. So I hope this was super helpful. And like I said, if you want to catch the replay of my live workshop, there is a link in the show notes so that you can sign up and access that replay. Also, if you're interested in joining my coaching program, so it's 6 months, make sure that you click the link in the show notes. There's an application to fill out and we can get you in on all the action so you can be the go-to CT tech. I am taking 10 spots for this round, so make sure you sign up for the program. As always, if you have any questions, you have an interesting CT story or something that you would want me to share on the show, please send me an email. The email is in the show notes. As always, if this episode was helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with somebody that could use it, because this just helps me push more educational content out there. So thank you so much for joining me in this episode, and I will chat with you guys next week. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you would like to share your CT experience, have an interesting story to share, or need help in your CT training, please email me your questions at contact@thecteducator.com. Follow along on Instagram at the CT Educator, also on Facebook at the CT Educator. Don't forget to like, share, leave a 5-star review, as this will help support the show and it'll reach all of you that need guidance. Thank you for listening and happy scanning.